Hello guys, in this video we will see how to configure service level agreement for a custom entity. So I have created one custom entity called leave request, and here we are going to see all the steps to enable service level agreement for this entity records. So let's see the form first. Click on new button. Here you can see these are the three fields on the form. These two are the date time field, and here we have submit status as option set, and we have the approval status as with the three options. As currently it is not enabled for SLA, we can see it into the customer service admin center. Here on the service term page we have the SLA. Click on manage. Let's click on new, and here you can see primary entity. The drop down is showing only one option, that is case. In order to enable this for SLA, we have to navigate to the customization, and here we have the entity properties page, and here we will have one option to enable service level agreement for this entity. So this is the page where we can enable SLA for this entity, and before enabling I am just going to show you the one ratio and relationship. So let's click on that. Here let's sort it based on related entity, and here you can see there is no relationship between the SLA and this entity. Let's check the n ratio 1 relationship also here, and here if we sort it based on primary entity, so there is also no relationship between the leave request and the SLA. Now we are going to enable SLA for this entity. We have a checkbox, so let me expand this, and we have one checkbox for SLA. So here you can see enable for SLA, and it is saying fields will be created. So let's check it and save it. Now our entity is enabled for service level agreement. So let's see the relationship now. So let me expand this tab, and let's click on one ratio and relationship, and let's sort it based on related entity. So here you can see SLA KPI instance is having a relationship of parental with our leave request entity. Let's go to n ratio 1 relationship. Let's sort it based on primary entity. Here you can see we have a relationship between SLA and leave request. Like this, two relationship got created in this n ratio 1 relationship. Now on this leave request entity, on the main form we need to create a lookup field. So let's create a new field. Let's give it a name like leave request KPI. Okay, and we are going to make it a lookup field. The target entity will be SLA KPI instance. Let's save this. So this is creating a field of lookup type. Now let's add that lookup field on the form. So I am splitting this general tab and this section into separate section so that I can keep that lookup field on another side of the fields. So here I can drag and drop this leave request KPI, click on save and click on publish. Now let's close the form. Now let's go to the SLA KPI instance entity, and here you can see we have the main form. One is quick view form and another is also quick view form. Now we also need to create a new quick view form. So here click on quick view form, and we are going to add a control, that is timer control. So double click on that, give the name like SLA KPI timer for leave request. Okay, label I can give the same. Okay, now here failure time field will be failure time, and here the success condition will be when the status is equals to succeed. The failure condition when it is a non-compliant. Warning condition status will be nearing to non-compliance, and cancel condition will be status to cancelled, and pause condition will be status as paused. Now click on OK. Okay, so here I need to remove the blank spaces from the name before saving it. So let's fill in the blanks with the underscore. Now let's click on OK. So this is our timer control we have added on this section. Let's save the form and let's publish it. Now one thing we need to follow, that is the name of this form is by default coming as new form. So we can change it so that we can easily identify in future. So let's say the name of this form, I can change it from the form properties. Here I can give the name like SLA KPI for leave request. So now we can easily identify that this is applicable for the leave request entity. Now click on the save button, and after that we can publish the form. Once the form is published, we have the QQ form, SLA KPI form for leave request, and let's search for the leave request entity. Now here on the main form we need to add this quick view form which we created right now. So go to the main form. In the main form we can click on insert button, and here we have option of quick view form. Let's give it a name like timer. Label is also timer. Here we need to search for leave request KPI, and we have this SLA KPI instance, and we have this form. Now we can click on OK. So now the timer is added on the form. Let's save it and also publish the form. Okay, go to the service term page, click on manage. Let's click on new. Give a proper name for this SLA like SLA leave request. The primary entity drop down will show us leave request option right now. Previously it was not showing. Now we have this SLA item, but before configuring the SLA item we need to configure the SLA KPI. So let's click on new, give a name. Now let's give this name like approve by, and here entity name will be leave request KPI field which we have created, that is leave request KPI, and here we can select applicable from created on. Let's save it and make it activate. Once the SLA KPI is activated, we can navigate back to the SLA. So now on this page we have to configure the SLA item. Here we can give the name like approve by SLA item. The KPI we can look up for this approve by, and applicable when, there we can select the criteria. So I have created two drop down field. So the first one I am going to use. So that field will be a submit status. Okay. So whenever the submit status is equals to submit for approval, at that time this should trigger. So let's select the submitted for approval, and now we need to decide the success conditions. So click on add row, and here I am going to use the another drop down, that is approval status, and it should be equals to approved, and also it should be equals to rejected. In both scenario it will succeeded. Now the warning condition or warning time we can decide here as 1 minute, and failure time we can decide as 2 minutes. That's it. Click on save, and here we have the configure action. We can either configure, or if we don't want, we can close it. Need to activate the SLA, and also we need to make it default also. So our SLA is activating, and we can make it as a default SLA for leave request entity. Now let's go to the leave request. So here you can see this leave request KPI lookup field is there, and we have the username here. This is a text field. Let's fill up the name like Ramesh, and from date I am selecting as 6th, and end date I am selecting as 7. Now we need to select the submit status as submitted for approval. Click on save. So here you can see the timer has started. Also the default value we have selected for leave request is approved by SLA, so that is coming right here. So this is how you can enable service level agreement on a custom entity. So the timer will continue be running until unless we change the status of approval to approved or rejected value. So currently it's running, and we have this approval status drop down. We can select approved. Let's save the form, and here you can see it is succeeded. So if you have any question regarding this, you can put it into the comment box. I will try to answer those queries. Thanks for watching.